Hello and welcome back to the channel and race recap video for the first time of 2024. Most of you probably know that at the weekend it was Outlaw Half in Nottingham. I raced it, and basically today's video I'm going to run through exactly how the day went for me. Before I start, the first thing I'm going to say is just again how amazing outlaw races are. If you've not done one before, I highly recommend you go and give them a go. They've got every distance going now, pretty much. They do sprints, they do gravel sprints, they do middle distance, full distance. Go and have a look on their website. I'll leave a code down below where you can get 5% off of their races. The most friendly, amazing bunch of people. Yeah, I could not support them enough and could not speak highly of them enough. They're an amazing company and amazing events. Let's start with the start of the day. Got the usual antics, which is get up super early. So I think I woke up at about 3 o'clock in the morning. My body just basically woke me up. That wasn't intentional. I had the alarm set for 4 o'clock, so I got up at 3. I basically ended up just laying in bed and scrolling through Instagram for another half an hour, 45 minutes. Had a coffee, got everything ready, as you usually do. Tri-suit, got all my nutrition sorted. Kind of went through very quickly all my nutrition strategy in my previous video, which I'll link up here, so you can check that out. Then we left the hotel at about, must have been about 4:30, probably got to Outlaw's venue at maybe 4:45, 10:05. We ended up staying in a car park which is slightly further away than the one we usually stay in. Not sure why, but that was just where we ended up parking. So it ended up being probably like a 15-minute walk to where the Wracking and sort of race village is, I suppose. So I packed up all of our stuff, started making the walk down there. We got into transition, and this was where the first sort of struggle or thing went wrong. Race morning, 30 minutes to go. I'll have to run back to the car. Forgot my race belt. Glad I've got a little bit of time, but it's nerve-wracking. Had to run. Park's like in a different car park on the other side of the lake as well, which is a lot longer, so I better get back. Still not put anything on the bike or done my pumped my tyres up or anything yet, so bit delayed, but I will. I was due to set off at 5 to 6, so that was like annoying. So I ended up literally running back to the car, picking that up. Then didn't get into transition probably until about 5:30. Got my transition set up as quickly as I possibly could. Pumped up the tyres. Luckily there was no issues there. Got everything set. Tyres were still inflated, thankfully. Yeah, got back out of transition. Then queued up for the Portaloo, as you usually do. The queue was huge by this point, which was a little bit stressful. I was probably waiting in the queue for another 10-15 minutes. Then obviously at this point I still needed to get my calf guards, I needed to get my wetsuit on, I needed to get all sorted. So then by the time I'd been to the Portaloo, it had been announced that there was a 10-minute delay in the start for the race. I think there was quite a lot of traffic going into it, so I think they decided to basically make a quick call. Everyone start 10 minutes later, so then everyone obviously gets a start. And by the time I started putting on my wetsuit and my tri-suit, it must have been 10 to 5 to 6. I was obviously now due to start at 6:05. I think the first guys were set to go off at 6. So I was already running really late by this point, which was panicking me a little bit. I then ended up getting my wetsuit and tri-suit, or getting my tri-suit on and then going to put my wetsuit on. I then went to do up the zip on my tri-suit, and the zip went straight up and almost wouldn't come back down, and the zip opened. I think I've since spoken to Zone 3 and we think that there was a fault basically with the wetsuit. They're very kindly sending me out a new one ASAP. They apologised. It was by no means Zone 3's fault at all. These things just happen, especially when, you know, I might have yanked on it a little bit too. You don't know what happens. So I should have tested this all beforehand really, and I should have, you know, put the tri-suit for its paces. I should have done a brick session maybe in it and given it a proper test run. But again, lessons to be learned. So that again was like another, or not mistake, but I suppose another thing to go wrong is my tri-suit then jammed at the top. Oh, sorry, I probably just hit that. That made a loud noise. The tri-suit jammed at the top of the wetsuit. I'll try and overlay some photos so you can see, with my belly hanging out basically, which was a little bit frustrating. It kind of puts you in a negative headspace when you're already running late. You've forgot your race belt. You've now got a tri-suit error. And then basically this meant that I had been seriously delayed in the swim start. I then ended, once by the time I got the wetsuit on, I was like, I need to go toilet again.
Not just for a wee, because I probably would have just done that in the suit by this point in the swim, but for the other thing, which I'm sure you all know what is. So, and I didn't want to have to do it during the race, so wetsuit back off. Luckily I found some Portaloos which were completely empty, so I went to them. Turns out I didn't need to go. I think I was just getting nervous. I think I was getting a bit wrapped up in the moment. I think it was just nerves basically, you know, panicking a little bit maybe. So everything back on, and by this point I was 10-15 minutes past my swim start. There's loads of guys already out in the water. Last year, in a lot of last year's races, I made the mistake of not starting with the front lot. I want to race with the front lot. And also, you know, when you race with the front guys or start with the front guys on the swim, you tend to get a better swim time. I'll go into that in a minute. Anyway, I started the swim in well past, I think, 500 places, somewhere around there, which was not ideal. So got into the swim. The water temperature was nice, actually. It wasn't too warm, wasn't too cold. It was, yeah, comfy temperature. I think the first thing that I noticed in the swim, so I'd have done an open water swim previously, and my wetsuit, the Zone 3 suit, it literally felt like I wasn't wearing anything. It felt that good when I did the open water swim. I think where this tri-suit had it jammed up, it was not sitting comfortably on my shoulders, and it was pulling my, like, arched my back a lot and pulling my shoulders back, sort of, if that makes sense. So when I was swimming, I was really struggling to get my hands over, like, it felt like I was really restricted in the swim. So my shoulders, as they did in all last year's races, blew up like crazy quickly. Luckily, I've been putting in some good swim sessions, so I managed to kind of overcome it a little bit, I suppose. And that was kind of the story for the swim. Obviously, where it started really far back, it meant I was swimming over the top of and into, and I got kicked in the face a bunch, and I was struggling to sight, because when there's a lot of people bunched together, you have to sight a lot more because there's not clean water. So struggled quite a lot in the swim. Fortunately though, I did come out with a 2-minute PB. By the time I got to the end, I swam a 29-minute swim, which in retrospect actually isn't that bad. It was like a 125 per 100 yards or something like that, which isn't horrendous. I think there's definitely another minute, maybe 2 minutes there if I swim with the front guys, get some more open water, get the tri-suit sorted. There's definitely, there's 100% time to be had there. So by this point, I wasn't in the best of moods because I've had a lot go wrong. The swim wasn't what I had expected. At that time, I didn't know that it was a 29-minute swim. I just thought that I'd swam awfully, basically, because my shoulders and everything I've just explained. So wasn't the best. Transition was good. Got the wetsuit off. It's fine, actually. I opted for no socks on the bike. So bike suit was on. Out of transition, straight onto the bike. Obviously, I had that issue with the tri-suit, so my belly was basically out on the bike, and my thought process was, is this going to cause a load of drag? Is this going to affect me? Is this going to make me freezing cold? Is all these sort of negative thoughts start running through your head? Luckily, it was actually quite a nice day, so I didn't feel it at all. It actually didn't feel like the tri-suit itself was so comfy that I didn't even tell it was unzipped, and forgot about it quite quickly and just got to work on the bike. Where do I start with this bike? I think I'm going to start by saying I don't really know what happened here. Last year I got a 2:22 bike split. This year I did I think it was a 13 or 14, right around there, averaging like 24.7 miles an hour, I think. I don't know what happened. I spoke to so many people after this bike ride, and everyone I spoke to said that because it's a slightly different course to what it was last year, that it was slower, it was harder, it was a lot more bends, it was very, very windy that day. I don't know where my bike ride came from. And I hate saying stuff like this because I don't want to come across sounding like arrogant, but I was flying past people, and it really gave me a boost of confidence. Like, I've really, really enjoyed that bike ride. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's my position's a lot better. I don't know. I mean, to go to the power numbers, my power meter said that I held on average 236 watts with a normalized like 246 or somewhere around that, which is low. That's not what I was expecting to push. Don't know if my power meter was maybe under reading. There was a lot of sections where where you kind of stop pedaling. The road surface was, in some sections was, I'll be honest, horrendous. Like, my vision was going blurry from the amount that I was bouncing. I'm really surprised I didn't lose a bottle or anything. It was awful. So there's a lot of times where you just like weren't pedaling, or very, very, very easily pedaling, like 50 watts just to keep moving sort of thing. So I think that brought the average power down a little bit. The start and end of the bike ride as well, you're not putting out a lot of power. Yeah, I think for like the middle section, probably like the middle 50 miles, I was probably averaging more around the 250, 260 mark. Well, I definitely was, because that's what I was like. I was looking at my power meter, and that's roughly where I was. I think by the halfway mark, my power meter said I was actually averaging like 245 or something like that. So yeah, must have dropped off a little bit. And yeah, like I said, I don't really know what happened. I had a crazy fast bike split for me. And bear in mind, again, I was right at the back, so it was a complete solo effort that I didn't stick with anyone the whole time. Like I didn't, because I remember last year I made the mistake of finding some people which I thought looked fast, and thought that I'm probably not going to be any better than them because they look really good on a bike, so stick with them. I thought this time I'm head down, I'm going, I want to get up to some fast people, and I basically I didn't stick with anyone the whole time. I had no one overtake me or come and try and stick with me. I got to work basically, and it was by far the best feeling and best bike split I've ever, it's just amazing bike split. Yeah, really happy with that bike split. I know that if I had a swam with the better guys and worked with the better guys and pushed more watts, if my power meter isn't lying, because there's definitely more watts I could have pushed, that could have easily been, I believe that I could bike right up there with the front guys. I think if I was there with them, I would have been biking with them, 4 minutes quicker maybe, somewhere around. I truly believe that I've got that in me. And then that was kind of it for the bike really. There's nothing to write home about, like I say, just really good day out on the bike. Then on to T2. So T2 went fine. Socks on, shoes on, ran out of transition. If you had watched my previous video, you'll know that I was really, really worried about getting a stitch. I've been getting them a lot in my every brick session basically, where I run off the bike. I get like, it's not even like a stitch, it's like a real stabbing pain, and it's in the same spot, right on my right side, just under my rib. Every time, it's like to the point where I've had to, on some of my brick sessions, like I can't walk. It hurts that bad. Like if I take a step, I don't know what it is, and it was really playing on my mind. So as soon as I got off the bike, that was my thought process was, please don't get a stitch, please don't get the stitch, please don't get the stitch. And also because of this, the worry of it, I didn't know whether it was down to nutrition, maybe like having too much nutrition. So I opted to not have as many carbs as I usually would on the bike. I think that was probably a mistake. I actually think it might even be the opposite, where I'm not having enough carbs or even potentially electrolytes. I'm kind of tempted to see if I can do some sweat testing, just to really just understand what my body needs and requires, and how much I sweat, and how much sodium I sweat, and what I need to replace and stuff, because just to have that peace of mind, I think, of exactly what you need to replace is invaluable. So yeah, that was really playing on my mind. Got out on the run. The first 4 miles actually felt really smooth. I was running at like a low tempo, like according to my heart rate, like a low tempo effort. I was averaging around a 6:15 minute per mile, which is where I wanted to be. I was hoping for like a low 120 run, like 121 maybe, even like maybe, or if it was really good, or a 122 at least. I definitely have that in me, like without a doubt. Unfortunately, by I think it was 4.5 or 5 miles, the stitch started coming along. I could feel it, like every step you can feel it kind of come on a little bit more. And as soon as I felt that, my mindset again, like I was, by that point, like 4 miles in, I was in a really good mindset. Like I was like, oh, I'm running well, this feels super comfy, 6:15s, I'll be able to hold this, providing I don't get a stitch. And then, yeah, stitch came in, and kind of downhill from there, big time. Dropped down to like a 6:20 minute per mile, then like a 6:30 minute per mile. I found that the only way I could not feel the pain of the stitch was to hunch a lot when I run, so like really lean forward and hunch. So I did that for a couple of miles, and the stitch eventually went, but because of that, I was 10k in. I think I did like a 39-minute 10k by that point. I hadn't taken on any water. I hadn't taken on any gels. I brought a 90, one of the big like jumbo gels, 90 grams of carb gels from Precision Hydration with me. Didn't even open it. Had nothing. And I think by that point, the course as well, although it's like flat, it's actually harder than you expect, especially when it gets warm. It was a really warm day. Also, one of the straights, there's like trail section in it. So there's like quite a bit of it is running on like real undulating, and there's a really steep, punchy little climb all on dirt. And by that point, like that kind of really zaps your energy, especially if you're not taking on anything. So the course is like unexpectedly hard. And then the headwind section is just after the trail bit. And to kind of, and as soon as you hit that bit, and then it's nice because it cools you down, but also like you're putting in a lot more effort and not going very fast at all. And then you come back down the other straight where there's a tailwind, but you're just overheat like instantly because it's so hot. So I think it zapped my energy. I think I you know, not consuming anything for the first like 6.5, 7 miles. You can't expect a lot from your legs after that. And I started feeling exhausted. My legs didn't like, I kind of just felt like empty. Like I just couldn't push, basically. Yeah. And so the pace ended up just keep dropping throughout the run. I only had 1 cup of water, I think, or maybe 2 cups of water by the end of the run, which is just awful. In total, I only had 2 litres of fluid through the whole race, and I think I had like probably in total 7 gels, which is, what is that, 210 grams of carbs, which is nowhere near enough. I should be like 350, 400 grams of carbs for the race. So I think that's probably where the issues came on the run. Ended up, long story short, just suffering, just not feeling good. Really, really not what I'm capable of. I did I think it was a 1:25 or 26, it was like a 20-second half marathon PB, I think, or something like that. So it's not the end of the world. Averaging a 6:30 minute per mile exactly, which is like 4-minute Ks or something exactly. So not horrendous, still my best run split, but just not, I know that I'm really capable of more of that by 3 or 4 minutes at least. Yeah, it's a bit disappointed with the run if I'm honest, but in total, overall, the day gave me a 4:16 split. So yeah, 4 hours and 16 minutes total time. I think I came in 29th place, which isn't bad. Better than last year. That's still 12 minutes faster than last year. So I can't complain. I know there's a lot more there as well. It's given me a lot more confidence, and I know the things I need to work on. I need to get that swim sorted, get that new suit sent out from Zone 3, and that will fix that basically, I think. Need to not panic, maybe get up earlier and get everything sorted earlier in these races, because I can't be panicking like that and starting 500-600 places back, because it's just not, no matter how fast you are, you're going to struggle to get towards the front of a race when you're that far back. So need to sort that out and just, yeah, get with the front guys. And then, yeah, the run, I think I need to figure out this nutrition plan. Definitely need to sort that out. I need to figure whatever, yeah. I need to figure out the best ways of me getting round and getting some nutrition on board and not getting any stitches, or whether it's due to the nutrition, the stitch. I need to figure all of that out basically. And if I can do all of that and get it all sorted out, then I think I'll be in for a lot faster time. Hopefully should be under the 4:10, which would be good. Maybe closer towards the 4, which would be really nice for that sort of course. But yeah, that's how the race went. Overall, I am happy. There's a lot of positives as well as there are negatives from the race. But yeah, great day out. I think the highlight from the whole weekend for me was just meeting all the guys from Outlaw, all the other athletes that came over and spoke to me. Like I said, a lot of them came over and chatted to me about how their race went and stuff. And meeting all the other Outlaw team ambassadors, they were all so nice. Like just the whole group, the whole environment. Yeah, just amazing. I can't speak highly enough of it. So overall, really good experience. I'm happy I went and did it. Next race that I'm going to be prepping for is in 4 weeks' time, and that is the European Middle Distance Champs in Coimbra, Portugal. So that's going to be an exciting one. It'll be my first race abroad, so that's probably going to bring a whole load more issues and problems I'm going to have to face, but I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, hopefully I'll do some more videos in prep for that and show you kind of the process of me going towards that race. And yeah, if you raced, let me know in the comments how you did and what you thought of the day, and yeah, what you thought of that bike course, because I'm still surprised by that. And then yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please make sure you like, and I will see you next time for some more triathlon related content.